John, you've had time to reflect on that performance against Underbank Rangers.
Yeah, we've had a real in-depth look at it. We've seen what we did well. I think most people will agree defensively we did pretty good. But we've also seen what we didn't do very well, and our cohesion and offensive play and end of sets weren't really up to standard. So we've had a real good look at it. We've attempted to put it right in the Tuesday session, and obviously with further progress hopefully made on Thursday and Saturday before we play Oldham on Sunday.
Has there been much self-appraisal from the players?
There always is, yeah. I mean, part of the routine is to get an individual stats, individual videos. We go through them, see how they marry as regards to the goals that they've set themselves, but also we like to have a look at as well at the off the ball work, and that was the biggest area we were poor at. You know, we just didn't work very hard off the ball in order to give the ball carrier options, etc. So there's things that we like to call non-negotiable. Well, we didn't do them, so the negotiations are going out the window again, and we need to address that and make sure that we do them next week.
And what's the mood been like this week? Has there been a general uplift?
No, the mood's been good. They're a good group. They're honest. I like this group because they're honest, and it's great being honest when you've done well, because it's a smiley, pat on the back honesty. But when you ain't done so well, there's also the honesty where you get a kick up the backside, and we've all endured that, and we've all accepted that, and we've all said that we need to be better, and I'm certain that it will be better, not only this week but in the coming weeks as well.
John, you face Oldham on Sunday. Does this come in the must-win category for you?
Well, it's not a must-win, but obviously it's one where we're realistic enough to realise that we're probably favourites. But we're also realistic enough to realise that they're above us in the league ladder. They've already posted their first win, a very good win against Whitehaven. Real difficult conditions, but they just ground out a win and came away with that 16-14 victory. So we know they'll be good, and we know they'll be working hard. Especially, I think Matt Diskin will have given a rocket or two to one or two of their players as well after, the shellacking they got at Widnes. We're also pretty well informed that they're going to have one or two from Wakefield as well, joining them to bolster their ranks, and they've also got Ryan Ince on loan from Leigh. So it'll be a stronger team, and it'll be a highly motivated team, and we'll have to encounter that at a good venue over at Staley Bridge. A
tough challenge, but a win, a chance to build some momentum.
It is, yeah. It's important that we get the win, and the players are aware of that. But I ain't going to heap any more pressure on them because the greatest pressure comes from yourself, and I think the players are fully aware of what's expected and what we need to do, and if that's the case, should they go out and do that, I think we'll be coming away smiling.
Have we got any team news, John, ahead of Sunday's game?
Yeah, well, obviously Rhys Evans returns, which we're absolutely delighted about, because he adds that experience and stability to our right edge. So really pleased about that Rhys is returning, and we're in talks with Lee Ratford. There's a couple of Hull FC lads who I fancy for this week, who I think would help shake up one or two people, but also I think they'd add to the quality of the squad. So but that'll obviously be revealed when we put the squad into the RFL on Friday at noon.
Is Anthony England back available?
Yes, he is. Sorry, Mickey, I forgot about that, so that's one to you. Yes, Anthony England, he's back and he's available. I mean, he was just rested last week because he's one of the more senior pros, shall we say, and more mature years than the vast majority of our squad. So we gave him a chance to put his feet up last week, and he should come back energised and ready to play.
Sam Barlow, is he going to be close to contention? We've seen he's got his pot off.
Yeah, he has got his pot off. He's had his pins out of his wrists as well, so it's all pretty positive with regard to that. So we're expecting Sam within the next 3 weeks or so, 3 to 4 weeks. It'd be great if we got him within 3 weeks, because that'd be the Wakefield Challenge Cup tie. But if not, it'll have to be the game after. But we'll be working hard to get him on the field, because I think everybody saw, especially in that Castleford game, what he could bring to us as a middle unit player. So we'll be trying our best to get him out there as soon as possible.
With Rhys Evans, John, how did that come about, your discussions with Richard Agar and Leeds?
Yeah, it was with Kevin Sinfield mostly. I mean, obviously Kevin speaks to Rich. They work very closely together, and he ran it by Richard. But it was when we went over there, Mick, and our reserves played Leeds reserves, and for me, Rhys Evans needs first team football, and Kevin Sinfield and Richard Agar agreed, and from that it came about that he could return here, and obviously it will be in our first team, and it will be here for the duration should the circumstances at Leeds not change. However, we're not naive enough to think that should Leeds be short of 3/4 that they've every right to call him back, but they'd only call him back if he was going to appear in the first team. So I think it's a pretty good arrangement between ourselves and Leeds.
And with Rhys Evans and Sam Barlow on the cusp of coming back into the side, that's a lot of experience out there.
It is, yes, it is, and obviously Connor Farrell as well. He's waiting the sidelines. We're getting nearer and nearer to him as well. Around about mid to late March. So we're excited about that as well, because he's a natural leader. He's a bit like his brother over at Wigan. He leads from the front. He leads through action, and we really do. We would welcome him back as well. So yes, we're getting nearer with key players, and we'd be very happy should we get them back. But we've still got a very good team anyway in the immediacy of the next game on Sunday.
What are your thoughts, John, on the Coral Challenge Cup 5th round draw, Wakefield Trinity? You're going back home, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's well done. I've got an emotional attachment to Wakefield. I really like the club. I like the people within the club. I'm big friends with Chris Chester and a number of the players there as well. So yeah, there's an emotional attachment there, and I want Wakefield to do well. As I don't hide that, but I don't want them to do well on Friday the 13th of March. So we'll be going there really all guns blazing, attempting to pull out a shock. But we're fully aware there's some quality in that team. There really is, and they're at home. I'd have much preferred it if we're at our place, but we're having to travel this time, and I think it's a great draw. I think there'll be a good crowd. I think there'll be 5,000-6,000 folk there, and it'll make for a really good Friday night rugby league. The players are happy because it means it's a less frantic weekend for them, which they don't get many of those in the season, but they're also happy in regards to it gives us a great opportunity as well in this great competition.
And with no disrespect to Oldham and Sheffield coming up, you've got 2 games where you'll be probably favourites with the bookies to get the 2 points.
Yeah, you'd think so. But it's no good being favourites if you don't justify the favourite tag. So we've got to justify that with how we play, and I think that's the focus, and it's certainly the message for this coming week.
The reserves played last night, John. 18 points to 10, a real strong performance.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on some of those players who potentially might be knocking at your door for first team inclusion?
I thought it was great as an event last night, wasn't it? The players enjoyed the surface there. It was a really good surface at Horsfall Stadium. It allowed for a very entertaining game. Few too many errors, I think, for Tony Smith, who was coaching Cass, and a few too many errors for Mark Dunnett as well, who was our coach, obviously, of the reserves. But it was a real good competitive game, and it's just what you want from reserve team fixtures. And I think the reserves are doing really well at the minute. They've held their hands up against a very strong Hull and Leeds team, and we're unfortunate especially to lose the Hull game. And then obviously they've closed out a game against Castleford, so they can feel pretty happy that they're making progress as players individually and progress as players as a group.
Your thoughts on the stadium, John?
Yeah, very good. I thought the surface was great. They made us very, very welcome indeed, just as Dudley Hill had made us welcome, So yeah, we've got to accept that we've moved to Horsfall mainly because of the surface and because of feedback that we've had from the opposition, in previous years. And I know Castleford felt it was a really good standard of changing rooms, good standard of facilities, playing surface, and afterwards as well. So it was a 9 out of 10 night for me, Mick, last night.
Danny Maskell was named on the team sheet as a trialist, John. What can you tell us about Danny Maskell? Because I thought he put in a real stint in that second half.
I think you've read it exactly right there, Mick. I thought when he went on, we got more and more control of the game. So I would agree with you totally. I mean, obviously Danny's played in Australia. He's a Cass lad, so that counts for him in my eyes. So he's a Cass lad. He's played in Australia. He's come back. 13 games he played last year for Featherstone first team. So that's the quality of him. And he's come on trial here, and he didn't do himself any harm whatsoever last night. I thought he had a top game.
Have you spoke to him about the length of the trial and what he has to do to get a first team contract?
Yeah, it's all in hand, Mick, and it's all in hand. And he certainly fulfilled his part of the bargain last night.